so switch to the other screen. Right. Okay. So just let me know when it pops up, and then we can figure out.
Okay.
Oh, we're up. Do you hear me yet?
Go ahead.
You heard me?
I heard you.
Oh, you hear me? Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to have everybody back. I'm glad to be here again. We're going to go back into gouache again. You can see from my setup, we're not doing digital this week. We'll be doing gouache. And also, you know what? If you hang on, and maybe not till the end, but somewhere around the middle, I've got an announcement to make, and I'm going to make it at some point during this video concerning gouache. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do 3 different small heads on this sheet of paper. You know, I'm just going to do little gouache studies, and it's kind of neat because you can get to see how I start each one, and to do just a quick thing because it's going to be small. So I'm hoping to get to all 3 of them during this live stream. So that's kind of like what I was doing. Let me see if I could. Here we go. It's kind of like this thing that I had done earlier just to practice and to brush up. You know, just did these 3 little quick studies here. This one is kind of too small, you know, to get into all those little details in there. But, you know, this was fun. If you've been around my channel, you've seen me do this one before. It looks like me, but you know, it's this other guy. And this is my son here. I'm kidding, you know I'm kidding, that's me. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing today, these quick little studies. And also want to thank my wife for being here. And say hi, Karen.
Hi, everybody.
You know, and she'll be letting me know if you guys have any comments or questions. There's super chat, there's the emoji stuff, whatever it is. You know, we appreciate all the help that we can get as we try to grow this channel. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start in pencil, and I tried a different thing with the setup, so hopefully this could be a little bit more clear. All right, so here's the first head. And if you notice, this is of course going to be a Loomis type head, or a Loomis type approach to doing this head.
I have a window that popped up on the side of the chats.
Okay.
And how do I get rid of this window so I can get to the chats?
Oh, just tap anywhere. Tap on the very top.
Oh, okay.
On the gray. Like in the
middle?
middle?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tap on that gray in the middle, and that should be.
Okay. Oh, it worked. Okay. Well, we have Maritza.
Hey.
She says hello.
Okay, hi.
And we have Kuma.
Hey, Kumar.
Hey, he said, hi, guys. How are you?
Doing good. Hope you're doing good as well.
Uh-huh. And he asks, which paper are you using?
Okay, good question. Right here. This is the Stonehenge craft paper, okay? It's very, very good paper. It's 100% cotton. You don't know if you can see that there. It's 100%.
Yes.
You can see? Okay. And it's Stonehenge craft paper. So even it's not actually craft paper. You know, it's not any kind of cheap paper. It's actually very good quality paper. It's just the color of it is that same color as, you know, I guess craft. So that's what I'm working on. Okay, so I'm going to try and, well, I'm saying I'm going to try and not take too long on these heads, but I want to make sure also I do a good job on them. And I'm sorry you guys can't see my palette today. I tried to, that's me over in that far right corner, upper corner up there. But I tried to squeeze as much as I can in the screen, and I just couldn't find room for the palette.
Listen, good news. Kuma is sharing something with us.
Okay.
He said, "Hey guys, I graduated high school.
That is
Heading towards art school now."
great news.
Kuma, congratulations.
Definitely. Definitely. So, are you going to college? Or are you going to an art school? A school just I don't know. You know, there's quite a few choices people have these days that are different. So, are you going to university to study art?
He said, "Yes, I'm going to art school here in India."
Cool, very nice.
Yeah.
Very
Kumar,
nice, Kumar.
proud of you. Go ahead. Yes, it's a university.
Okay, so that's all I want to do. I hope I can squeeze all three heads in here. That's all I need to start. Yeah, this is good enough. Okay. So what I want to do is start out with getting a general color for the whole thing. And try and leave the spaces open for the whites, so the whites don't have to fight too hard to be white, to be, you know, the color. Otherwise, you know, when you paint one color on top of the other, it's hard sometimes to get the color the way you want it without it being affected by the color underneath.
Mr. Vic is with us. He says, "Hello, everyone."
Hey, Mr. Vic.
Okay.
Okay. You okay?
Yes. Well, Maritza wants to wish Kuma congratulations and to wish him every success.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, it sounds like we're building a community here.
Say again?
Sounds like we're building a community here.
Yes. That's great. Okay. Well, Maritza, Kuma thanks you. So. Okay. Well, Mr. Vic says there's a cool day today, 70, where he's at.
Oh. Okay.
But the sun feels hot. Right. If I don't have it mixed up, I think Mr. Vic is from Mexico, Maritza is from Colombia, Kumar is from India, of course. Mm-hmm.
So if you notice, I'm going very light, and also it's either I'm neither going for the darkest darks or the lightest light. At the moment, I'm just trying to build the thing up, and then come back later with heavier color.
Okay. Well, while you're painting, then Kuma chimes in. It's 100 degrees in India today.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yikes. I don't know if I could take that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mr. Vic is saying that he's CT, that's Connecticut. I remember he said he was from Connecticut.
Yeah.
PR, Yankee living in Mexico. Is that Puerto Rican? Is that what PR stands for? Mm-hmm. Mr. Vick is a Connecticut PR Yankee living in Mexico.
Oh, so he's Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. My family is from Naranjito. Well, my mother's family is from Naranjito. My father's family is from Morodi. So, I'm Puerto Rican living in the Bronx, like a lot of other Puerto Ricans.
Okay, well, Mr. Vick says his family is from Kehe. Am I saying that right?
I don't know because I don't see the spelling, so.
Oh, Cayey.
C-A-Y. Gaye? Is that Gaye?
Kaye? Kaye? Okay. Cayey. Kaye.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, having been born in the Bronx, my Spanish is not 100%.
Okay, well, Kumar says that he'll be starting art school in about 2 months.
Cool.
Kumar.
Cool. I say cool.
Huh?
I said cool.
Oh, okay. And he's asking, are there any tips on improving his foundation? Any online platform?
Oh, geez. There's lots of stuff online. There's a lot of stuff on and it kind of depends on what are you know what you're majoring in, or you just want foundations on things like close to what I'm doing here as far as painting is concerned. Depends on what you're going to study. Like, is there anything that in specific you're going to study? Are you just doing fine art? Are you doing animation? Are you doing illustration and so forth? It just depends on your field of study. There's a lot of stuff that you can find online, a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of channels here on YouTube that I would recommend. Apart from my own channel, but beyond that, there's people like Proco. There's people like James Gurney. the dinosaur guy, who actually does a lot more than dinosaurs, to be honest. But there's a lot that can be learned online, you know. So it just depends on what it is that you want to do.
Okay. He said, yes, there's a lot. I'm confused. I want to improve portrait sketching and painting.
Portrait sketches and painting. Gotcha. You can. I would go a lot to those guys that I mentioned. You know, there's a lot that you can learn online, especially James Gurney. He does a lot of watercolors, gouache, and do you do digital as well, Kumar?
Okay, well, we're waiting for Kumar. Oh, yes, I do.
Okay.
He said, yes,
So
I do.
there's a ton of stuff online, you know, for digitals. Also, there's a great site with a lot of digital stuff. I don't know if you know ArtStation. A lot of digital artists post their work on there. You can definitely look at the stuff that they post and study it. And also, since it's a community, you know, you can write to them. Not everybody responds back, but you know, you never know.
Okay. He explains there in the bachelor's program, they get a hint of everything, and then they decide what they want to do.
Yeah, it's called foundation. You have a foundation. They do that here too. I went to Parsons School of Design, and the first year was what you call a foundation year, and where you get like a little bit of everything. You get some illustration, some painting, some sculpture, some, you know, just a little bit of, just a taste of everything, and then you decide what you want to do.
Okay, so Mr. Vic corrected me. It's Kaya. That's how it's pronounced. Kaya. And he says all Puerto Ricans from New York are New Yorkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he comment on Proco. I think you commented about Proco and his channel, and he just finds that channel to be very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have Kamaria. She says hi to everybody.
Hi.
And Kumar says thank you. You know, thank you.
Oh, okay. You are more than welcome, Kumar, and I'm glad that you are going on to university. You know, and to I'm sure to great things. How clearly does this show up on the screen? I'm not too sure.
How quickly?
Clearly, clearly.
Oh, you know what? It is very clear. I was about to tell you that.
Okay.
It's really coming out really well. Yeah, I think you putting the camera closer had an effect.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can start going a little bit darker in certain areas. One of the tricky things about gouache is that when you put it down, and I probably mentioned this before in one of the other videos, it dries a lot lighter than what you put it down as. So sometimes you have to get used to that and compensate by making, just putting down a color that initially might just seem too dark. just curious, if you're drawing or painting along, just to mention what it is that you are working with. You know, like, are you drawing in pencils? Are you doing digital? Are you just whatever medium you're working in? Just curious to want to know what everybody's doing out there.
Okay, well, Kamara asks, do you use a certain lighting setup when you photograph people? There's a great contrast between light and shadow that I don't see in online reference photos.
Yeah, what I tried to do, this was someone that I had painted. He he was near a park, and I took this photo of him, and and I did a painting of him, and I went back and I saw him there again, and actually brought the painting to him and showed it to him and gave him a copy of it. You know, he was very grateful, and it was nice to meet him. You know, but what you see is basically outdoor lighting. You know, and I tried to photograph someone in natural light because it, you know, you can see the difference. You know, and it's good when you have someone who knows what they're doing as far as the studio lights are concerned. I've used photographs like that where I purchase on a site like Pose Space. They're a site that has like photo reference for artists. It's posespace.com, and I get a lot of my reference from them there. You know, just to have some stuff to practice with and so forth. And but when I take it myself, I try to set up in a way where I'm not using a flash, because what happens if you use a flash will flatten out your image, and the what you might call it, it just doesn't seem natural. You know, the flash will just hit your image like that, straightforward, and it's just lighted where lighting is usually from above. You know, you can, or from the side. Like I have a light right here, and it's hitting my face. You know, so it's coming from the side. But you know, and you have, and if I was doing it myself, I would do my best, like an indoor shot, to control where the light is coming from. That has to be definitely a thought as far as what you know what you're looking for. And so, you know, like when you take the photo reference, it's just not the subject in front of you. You have to consider what lighting do you want to photograph this subject with. The light is very much part of the painting, of course. You know, so I'm always conscious of the light. I don't worry about it too much in outdoors because it's natural light. So you know, it is what it is. You know, and it's, to me, it's kind of it's ideal. You know, but when I'm taking a photo from indoors, I'm very much aware of the lighting, and I consider that as I'm photographing my reference.
Okay, well, Mr. Vic says XP pen. What's XP?
Oh, XP pen. That's he's using digital.
Oh, okay. XP pen, deco pad with Clip Studio art.
Ah, Clip Studio. I got to get into that. There was a recent upgrade that I had. I just haven't got into Clip Studio art. But I look at the brushes and I played with it, and the brushes seems like they're very natural looking, you know, and I really like that. And so it's a program I've been meaning to get into. All right. Well, I don't want to go too far into this. This was just meant to be like a quick study, and one of hopefully three, if I can get to all three of them. But when you're doing it like this, it's kind of, for me, it takes the pressure off, because it's like I'm not, you know, I'm not doing anything too complicated that I have to worry about it being a finished painting. You know, it's just a quick study of a person's face, and you know, it's not too it's not too difficult, but you can get a lot out of it. You know, when it comes to painting, and you can bring that into your finished work. Okay, so just gonna hit a couple of highlights here, and then I think I'm done with this one. So, and just for fun, let me just isolate it from the paper in the background. Okay, so that's one down. see if we can get something else here. This guy will be pretty easy to draw. So, let's see. Stick them way down here. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead. We're far along enough in this session that I'm going to tell you my special announcement. I am going to teach. I'm going to teach at here at the Pennsylvania School. I think it's Pennsylvania Studio School. They invited me to teach there a class in painting and gouache. So, and I'm going to be teaching the fall semester there. So it's it's my second teaching gig. First one was someplace here in the Bronx, but this one is more of a adult level course, and so I'm very excited about that. I left a link on the bottom to my page there. I'm going to be teaching there starting in September, and I'm going to. It's a 6-week course. It's going to be on Saturdays in September, and what I'm going to start the course in is the first 3 weeks are going to be about drawing, and the final 3 weeks are going to be about painting. So I'm going to be teaching there, which is pretty cool. So that's my special announcement. I'm going to be teaching this fall.
Okay. Well, Mr. Fix says awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And I see Night Shift says that's great to be teaching others. You have a great way of instructing people. I love your videos.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, Maritza says, I have problems with highlights, mids, and shadows. I have very sharp transitions. It looks like separate lines. How can I improve this?
Okay. My thinking is this, and without looking at your work, so it's kind of hard, but I would, if your concern is about actually, each one of them is really what puts a painting together. It's the midtones, the shadows, and the highlights, right? That's a painting right there. My suggestion would be this, and again, I'm not looking at your work, so I can't give you 100%. But I generally, one of the reasons why I'm using like a tone background, like a tone paper, is because it provides me a value to begin with that I can build on. Now I can decide how much of it, like if you see here, some of that is actually showing, and because it was something to start off with. So I would start that way, and then I would start with not the darks, but or at least the very dark. It's like I'm trying to, in this painting, I'm trying to first map out the patterns of light and dark. So I'm going to the darks here, using the tone as a middle value. The tone of the paper is a middle value, and I'm just finding the dark patterns, and then I will work into this middle value for whatever transitions, or you might call them halftones, and then after that I would hit the lighter areas. The dark areas here are not my darkest dark, and when I say light areas, there are not going to be highlights. Highlights are not important. Highlights are kind of like, that cherry topping. It's I would not think about the highlights first or the darkest darks. The strongest accents, whether they're the darks or the lights, you save those for last. Everything in between that is what holds the painting together. So I would work on that first. Like if you look at what I'm doing now, like I'm not trying to make this the darkest dark right now, but I am trying to find the patterns of light and dark. Even though, if you look at the photo, there's the hair is dark, but I'm not gonna paint it the darkest dark right now. I'm going to be concerned first about getting the patterns of light and dark, and then I'll go into that later. So, and then after that, I'll go into the I'll work into the middle values, right? And again, there's no dark, there's no highlights or anything like that. Those are, I say, for last. And to be honest with you, sometimes you'll find they're not important at all. They're not what holds the painting together. What holds the painting together are these patterns of light and dark. And just getting those right.
Okay, Obama says, I've always found painting highlights tricky when painting on white. Even in Photoshop, it'll make my background a gray instead of white.
Yeah, highlights are not, and everything is relative. It's like, first of all, I might not choose to, depending on what's on the painting, the colors that I already put down, I might not choose to put white as a highlight. It would probably be an off-white. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make is that they assume that the highlight has always got to be white, which is not the case. You got to look at what's on your painting and the colors that you've already put down, and it has to be in harmony with those colors. So it might not be white. See, now, even though there's a lot of steps in between what I have here and the general or the what do you call it? Just the general color, the local color. Just say I pick one color that's like a middle value. That's the overall color of the whole thing, and then I work into that. So there might not be a very big jump, and there's things that are in between what I have now and the color that I'm going to put down. I'm going to start with the local color and then work back into it and find the other things. So I'm not, even at this point, I'm not thinking of highlights. I'm not thinking of the darkest dark. I'm just thinking of the local color. And then after I get this done, I'm still not going to think of those other things. I'm going to think of the transition between what I have here and those other colors in between. So you know, it's a process where you're building your painting up. You know. Okay, so I have a local color now. So say I want to put another step in this painting, right? So I'll mix a color that's a little bit darker, you know, than what I have for the local color. And I noticed that, you know, some of it is a little bit cooler too. Okay, then some of it gets a little warmer, so I'll put in a little bit more red. Oh, there it goes. And I'll work in some of these other transitions here. And I'm building up the painting little by little. Get in this the gray of the beard here. Just a general color. I'm not going to worry about the details yet.
Okay. When Maritza says thank you.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Alright, now everything is kind of like in the middle. So now with everything in the middle, I can go up a step darker and a step lighter. So first I'll go a step darker. Okay, and I'll hit some of these darker areas over here, starting with the hair. And it's not the darkest dark yet, but it's darker than anything that I have on here now. See, because now you can see I can go even darker if I want to, and I will want to, but I have room to mess with, you know? I can add the dark of the jacket. See, I go a step darker as needed, and as I develop my painting, but it's in increments. I don't instantly hit a highlight or a dark accent or whatever. It's just, let me build this up little by little so that it comes up together, each part relating to the other. And that's what happens when you put down a highlight too soon. You're not, and you don't consider the colors that are on here. Like, again, a highlight isn't necessarily white. It will be light enough as as something just a little bit off-white when compared to the colors that you've already put down. And sometimes when you have enough of this down, sometimes you just don't need the highlights. But like I said, I saved the highlights and the darker areas for last. And for that very reason, because I might not need it. There just might be enough on here so that you can read the painting without it being necessary to include the highlights. And the highlights may be a bit too much. So now I think that there's room for another step before I put any highlights, especially in the beard. But on the face, though, I think there's room for another step. So let me go ahead and do that. Before I start considering the highlights, let me put this other step in here. And again, another step lighter too. else can I do here? I can go back into the beard. No, it's not light enough. And even though it's well, it's not really a white beard, it's a gray beard. You know, you might see touches of white, but there's nothing like white out of the tube white. Okay, so right now, what I can do is hit the darks. And this is where I'll look to put, change brushes here. This is where I'll look to put some darker paint. Again, like the light isn't totally white, neither is the dark black, totally black. This is kind of like a mixture, some black, some blue, some red, to get a dark that's not, some burnt umber, because I don't want it to be like too dark. If you see, when I put down these darks, they after a while they kind of lighten up. And that's just one of the properties, that's just one of the ways that gouache behaves. it a little bit. So now I can go back in here and hit some lights. And sometimes it's good to work back into them. You know, you don't have to go with the first thing you put down. So and now you can decide how light and how dark you want to go. I think like I can come a step down on some of the areas of the jacket. And I can get lighter on some of these highlights, especially on the nose and the very top of the head. I can go white there, and here. Hopefully that'll still retain some of that. So and also I can just with water, so with gouache you can blend something that might be a little bit too, you want more of a transition, so you can just blend some of these colors. Okay, and again, let me go ahead and just separate it from the background. Yeah. And that's it for that, for this head. Okay. Let me see, I think that'll do it. Just a quick study. Okay, do you think we have time for one more? Or? Okay, so let me see if I could pull off one more painting. Marissa, I hope that answered your question. And here's the last one, and this is the very beautiful Karen. This photo was taken a while back, and let me see, there's space right here for it. So just one more to close out. So is there anybody still with us?
Oh, yeah, we have a few people with us.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys can hang on for one more. I'm just going to do this one more. Or maybe I shouldn't even attempt this. I do have dinner to cook. Like we said last week, Saturdays is my turn to do, well, the weekends is my turn to make sure the family is fed.
Mr. Vic says, yes, sir. It's my Saturday stay at home and rest day.
Uh-huh. Oh, listen, before I forget, just want to remind everyone, if you liked, enjoyed this time, just if you can, just hit like. Just help us with the for the video to be recognized on YouTube and for our viewership to grow. You know, just take a moment and hit that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got some of my head in there. Let me move this so my head doesn't get in the view. trying to go through this quickly because I realize time is short. So. Now, part of this is doing a little bit of the opposite of what I just said as far as saving the darks for last, because I'm going ahead and hitting some of the darkest areas now. But I guess one of the things is that after doing some of these paintings in a row, I feel a little confident with where I'm heading, and so I'm taking, you know, some bolder. I'm feeling a little bit bolder about, you know, where this painting is going to end up. So, if in case you're wondering why I hit some of these darks so soon. Because, you know, one part of it is realizing I'm not going to have as much time as I did painting these other two. You know, I'm going to end this one a little sooner than I did those. So I'm trying to get a little bit farther along.
You're echoing a bit.
Really?
I don't know what it is. Did you touch the mic?
No, I didn't. It shouldn't be echoing. As far as I know. Is it just a little bit, or is it like really noticeable?
No, it's noticeable.
That's something that I'm going to have to look into afterwards as far as why that's the case. Is it distracting?
Just a little challenging to hear.
Really? That's odd. I wonder why it's echoing.
I can clearly hear what you're saying, but it seems like there's an echoing effect.
Okay. good?
Really good. Maritza says she can't hear well. Is it only me? Maritza, I'm listening to it on a laptop, and then it's echoing. You could hear what we're saying clearly, but it's still echoing. Is that what you're finding, or you can't hear at all?
Well, it's good. I just haven't said anything in a while.
That could be it too. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am trying to finish this and I'm concentrating on getting this done. If it's that, then I apologize. You know, I'm working on this thing. I realize I only have a short time to finish this. This being the last, and
I would say you have about 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I might go over that just a little bit.
Or you could go over that if you want to. I don't know. We're not starving. We could wait for dinner.
Okay. Oh, so did Marissa say?
No, I was just thinking. Maritza, chime in with us. How do you hear anything or don't you? Mm.
Okay, so. You know, if she can't hear, she might not have heard that we asked the question.
Yeah, that's what I realized. Let me see. Yes. Okay, let me see if I
Oh, just in general too, just if anybody out there, whoever else is there, can you hear us? We come
Okay.
in. Sounds like a science fiction movie. Is anybody out there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I asked the question.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Huh?
Were you saying anything?
Not just now, no.
Okay. Oh, okay, it's better.
Oh, the echoing?
Yeah, yeah, I don't hear the echoing now.
Oh, okay. That's good to
Yeah.
know.
It's on
Okay. And let me switch brushes here. Okay. I think I'm going to hit some lighter areas now, just in an effort to see if that would be enough to.
Okay, so we have a thumbs up from D Charming, so I believe that it corrected itself.
Okay. Good. Hope we didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope not either. Yeah. Yeah, it was Mr. Vic and Maritza that let us know there was some echoing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it looks great, I gotta tell you.
Thank you.
Okay, Maritza says she thinks it's her internet connection. No, Maritza, I heard the same thing too. I don't know. I think it just went bleep for a minute.
Well, you know what, Maritza, thank you for hanging on in there.
Yes.
Okay. Very much appreciated. So, oh, I didn't put your hearing in.
Okay, well, Mr. Vic says he thinks the sound is low on our end.
On our end?
Okay.
Okay. You know, we'll work through these bugs. I don't know what it is. Because it's hard to get off right now and try and fix it. But it's a work in progress, right?
Say again?
It's a work in progress.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when we started the live stream, the mic was working fine, so I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Mr. Fickle, maybe it's my old man ears. Surely not, Mr. Vic. Surely not.
Okay, let's see.
Mr. Vic shared his age.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I should.
If it's there for everybody to see.
I know, but I don't have to comment. I don't know. As I got older, I became more guarded as far as telling my age. I don't know.
Let's see. I think in general, women are more guarded about it than men are.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, in general. I could be wrong. Hope that doesn't sound sexist.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I think just indicating the jacket is good enough. I don't have to give the color of the jacket, so I'm going to just like I did with the others.
Okay. So you're gonna do something different with the jacket?
I'm just gonna let it stay.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna let it stay. I'm not gonna paint it in. I think I can get away with it. It's just, it's not supposed to be a finished painting to begin with.
Okay. Okay. Well, Mr. Vick was just saying that he thinks that's more a female thing. You know, Mr. Vick, when I was younger, I didn't have a problem sharing my age. I really didn't. As I got older, I don't know why, but I didn't want people to know. So. Okay, so I accept it. It's a female thing. I accept it.
Okay, so I think that's going to be it. This was a lot of fun. I definitely had a lot of fun doing this.
I hope everybody was able to keep up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see my head is sticking in there. just putting some touches. I see I just needed some cooler colors in certain areas, but you got to be careful with this, because what happens is that if I do this too many times, then there's something, there's always something else I got to change somewhere else. But I think that those touches of blue actually help. Oh, there's one more thing. This little mustache area.
Okay, well, Mr. Vic says he do like the white highlights.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. This was fun, and I'm glad that you guys hung in there this long with us, and we appreciate you guys coming every week. Those who do, and any new people who come on, thank you so much for spending this time with us. I hope you guys had fun drawing along with us, and we will be here next Saturday. Again, let me just reiterate my special announcement. I'm going to be teaching at the Penn School of Arts, and the link is below, and that's going to be in the fall semester. So starting in September, that's on Saturdays. It's every Saturday for 6 weeks. So if you're interested, it's there. The link is there. I'm going to be teaching gouache. Okay, and also thank you. We'll be here next week, and hope to see you guys there. All right, bye bye. Okay, got it.